What's up, everyone? Welcome to Bilbrons and Dragons. I'm your host, Bilbron DaoLockStone. So today we're having another battle report for my Molebron DaoLockStone build, which I've been playing on a Westmarch server called the Forged Concordance. And it is super awesome. I'm very impressed with it. It's really big, easy to get games, great DMs, robust magic item system, very organized. So check it out. The relevant information will be in the video description below. Feel free to join me there and we could adventure together. So today's episode was called Trivia Night, run by DM Unseen. And I think he did a great job. I appreciate an adventure that's not, wall-to-wall combat. It was more of a role-playing thing around the lore of the land that we live in. And I thought that was pretty cool. But before I get into the play-by-play of this adventure, I do need to mention that this is my second adventure as an 8th level PC. And I had a previous adventure where I was punching up to a silver mission that I did not make a battle report for. Because the DM made a bad call that directly led to Bilbron being killed, because I got smashed for a critical that did 83 damage and I died to massive damage, which is fine. I mean, I didn't think the DM made the right call, but it happens, and there was someone on site who could revivify me, so all good as far as I was concerned. But then the DM complained to the mods about me, making the case that I was trying to use reskinning to gain a mechanical advantage, which of course was BS, and I had to talk to the mods about it, and they eventually realized, okay, I was right, the DM was wrong. But, I didn't want to go through the play-by-play and call out that particular DM, but I did want to mention that Bilbron was once again killed by a sea creature, in this case a storm giant quintessent, so pretty formidable, and just galvanized his deep abiding hatred for sea creatures and their dastardly ways. So that was the adventure prior to this one, and for Trivia Night, started out as it always does, with Bilbron riding in from Viscala, stopping in at Haroon to visit with Novus Dayshout, whom he likes a lot, and who runs the Union of Ash, and are conducting operations in Mydath, which is this demi-plane full of Genasi that Bilbron is, obviously very concerned about, etc. Then rode the rest of the way to the Forged Concordance HQ, rolling up to the job board looking for a gig. And as usual, it wasn't easy. It was plastered over with bronze, iron, and steel missions for the throngs of bronze, iron, and steel players milling around. And once again, tough to find a really difficult job for the stone cold killers like Bilbron is now. But eventually he did see a silver mission in the hands of Eris, who's a brand new TFC guild member, had never met her before, so was happy to introduce himself. She was a really tall human Arcana cleric, and we made friends, and I promised to tell her all about the TFC and how we rolled. And we needed 2 more to fill out the team. Bilbron was actually already there talking with his friend Leo, who is a Tortle Clockwork Sorcerer monster hunter. So we're always comparing notes on the adventures that we have and the monsters that we fight, and talk tactics about what we did, what we should do, what would have been better, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, we were doing that, and Eris walked by with the mission. So I was like, yes, I want in. Leo wants in. And then we filled out the team with one more, Oak Brown, who turned out to be a half-orc with like a scarred face, who was a fighter barbarian. But he was wearing this really weird outfit that had a full mask and a whole robe and cloak that was magical, and you couldn't really identify his features, what he was carrying, his body language, or anything like that. I think it was called a Lord's Raiment or something like that, but it was pretty cool. In any case, it was the 4 of us, and the job was for Trivia Night? Okay, Bilbron figured that there was way more to this. He's used to clients not being fully forthcoming about their problems, so I figured, okay, they've been running Trivia Night, but ghosts have been showing up, or a bunch of orcs, have been harassing them or something, I don't know. But it wasn't very far away, so we all headed out on foot It was only a couple hours walk to this inn where we were to meet Annalise, our client. And we got there, and it all seemed to be on the up and up. They literally just wanted us to represent the Forged Concordance at Trivia Night. So, okay, Bilbron isn't really too savvy with the ins and outs of marketing deals and things of that nature. So he's like, if you're going to pay me to answer trivia questions, I am down for that. So we all grabbed a table, ordered a roasted pig and some wine, and started it on the trivia. And there were other teams that we had to compete with, but we were slaying it because, first of all, Bilbron knew that this was a trivia gig, so I had previously read through all of the lore, which was something that I had been meaning to do anyway, just because I love the role-playing and atmosphere of the game, and so want to know, hey, what's going on in this kingdom? Who's leading it? What's the history? Where are the problem spots? What are all the landmarks about? And so I actually ended up knowing a lot of the answers by having read through the lore, and the other, the rest of the team were pretty scholarly. Eris and Leo are, bookish types, and Oak Brown was a mercenary. So a lot of the questions had to do with, mercenary groups and stuff. So everyone was contributing, and we literally didn't get any questions wrong. And there were periodic breaks. During those breaks, we were kind of checking out our opponents. And one of them seemed to be a mercenary group as well that weren't too happy with us for winning. What can you do? Interestingly, one of the groups was some orphans, just kids, 12, 13 years old, being chaperoned by a priest. And they were there for trivia night. And it turns out they were fanboys and fangirls of the Forged Concordance. So they kind of came up to our table during one of the breaks, all wide-eyed and, asking about the glamorous adventurer life. And it turns out Oak Brown is pretty jaded and quite possibly evil, like Bilbron. So, yeah, he was giving them a cold, hard dose of reality. And then Bilbron piled on and was, they were like, what kind of creatures do you have to kill? And he was like, well, sometimes you got to kill a unicorn prince and then turn his hide into beautiful studded leather armor. And they were all like, we're going to go sit down now. And on the way out, Bilbron was like, just remember, kids, the mercenary life is about risking your life to kill people on the orders of others, and they might be good people. So think about it. And yeah, so we continued our trivia night and continued our dominance, and we won the contest. And we got a pretty handsome gold reward for just answering trivia questions, and a couple of magic items, boots of false tracks and a potion of growth. So, all right, I'll take that as a win. And so we couldn't stay the night there because the tavern was all filled up. So we just decided to walk back to the TFC HQ and, sleep in the barracks. And on the way, that mercenary group that didn't like us beating them had the temerity and the stupidity to try and mug us. And Bilbron just straight up laughed his ass off at this and was like, do you guys know who we are? But they were somewhat capable. They could cast spells like Fireball and Counterspell and conjure animals. And there was like a giant boar there and some kind of elemental dude that was immune to our weapons and stuff. So they were feeling pretty froggy and thought they could take us. And on the first round, Bilbron just dimension doored 300 feet up into the air. It was nighttime. He lit up the ground area with his lava stone. So those dudes were lit up. They couldn't see Bilbron at all. And it was basically over at that point. And Bilbron kept screaming at them to surrender because he's getting so sick of killing everybody because dead men tell no tales. And he keeps thinking, God, if we left a survivor or two, maybe they would tell people not to fuck with us. And then I wouldn't have to deal with these, stupid incidents. But they weren't smart enough to surrender and just kept eating damage and trying desperately to take us down. And they all ganged up on Eris, and she ate like one too many fireballs, and then they magic missiled her and counterspelled her shield. So they managed to get her to 0 for a second. a moral victory, I guess, to comfort them on their way to the grave. Because, yeah, we smashed those fools. And then we headed back to the TFC HQ to collect our badges for a mission success. We defended the honor of the guild. We marketed ourselves, I suppose. And yeah, I got an easy 2 badges and can't complain. So thanks so much to DM Unseen for providing me that experience. Thanks so much to the team for helping me get through it. And thanks so much for watching. This has been Bilbrons and Dragons. I'm your host, Bilbron DaoLockStone. See you next time.